Yo, people, them 2 months later with the ACER NITRO 14 gaming laptop. Let's see if it's actually worth its money. Yes, people, what's good? It's man like Jamo. Now, as I said, we're out here with the ACER NITRO 14 gaming laptop. Just a brief disclaimer, ACER did send this to me for free, just for review and testing purposes. It goes straight back to them after the video is done, and they don't get to see this video before I post it. So without any further ado, let's get into the specs. Now, starting off with the display, we're talking 14 inches IPS panel. It's a very vibrant IPS panel, as you can see. And it's at 1080p, fam. Very modest, like 1920 by 1200p. So it is 16 by 10 aspect ratio. You do get a little bit more vertical screen real estate as opposed to a normal 16 by 9 screen. And you get 120 hertz refresh rate, 3 millisecond response times, and NVIDIA G-Sync is also included there. So your refresh rate and everything, screen tearing, yeah, it should look good, cuz. Now, moving on to specs, it looks like we've got a little red and green combo going on here, fam. So for CPU, we got an AMD Ryzen 7 8000 series with the 780M integrated graphics, 16 gigabytes of RAM, terabyte of SSD, Wi-Fi 6E on board, not the latest Wi-Fi 7, but Wi-Fi 6E is plenty fast enough. And to be honest, my router is a Wi-Fi 6E router anyway, so that's the fastest speed I'd be able to get on this laptop in the first place. Now for graphics, we've got the NVIDIA RTX 4050, which I already know is a 2K monster. So considering the fact that we got a 1080p screen here, we should be able to push for high graphics and maybe even ultra settings on certain games. And yeah, as I said before, we got the 780M for integrated graphics. Now, onto port selection, starting off at the left-hand side, we've got the barrel pin for charging the laptop. Very weird to have it on the left-hand side. We've got a USB-A port there. We've got a USB-C port there, which is USB 4 certified. So you could use that to connect this monitor to another display, connect some different devices, all them kind of things there kind of thing. And you've got a combination 3.5mm headphone to microphone jack, as well as some little indication lights. Now, on the right-hand side, it gets a bit interesting because we've got a micro SD card reader, we got another USB 4 port, we got another USB-A port, and we've got a HDMI port there as well. And funny enough, on the back, we haven't actually got any ports at all. But, you know, speaking of the back, let's chat about the design. I kind of like what we got going on here, yeah? See this little orange grill here on the left and on the right kind of thing? Yeah. With the little, yeah. That looks wavy to me, fam. I just like any kind of 14-inch gaming laptop. I don't know why. 14-inch just feels like the perfect form factor for a laptop that's actually portable and has a good bit of power that you can actually bang out games on. I feel like it looks very stylish on the front as well, fam. Look at that RGB keyboard, cuz per key RGB, that's a premium looking keyboard on such a small laptop. I'm in love with the look of this thing. Yeah, it looks nice. It looks like it does the job 110%. Now, one thing I forgot to show you guys is the NITRO Sense software. You literally get to it by pressing the N button on the keyboard, and you've got a lot of settings here which you can use to either save battery on the laptop or to get more performance and more frames per second from your games. So for example, if I go into user scenario mode, you've got performance mode, you've got turbo mode. These are obviously going to help you get more performance from your games, more frames per second. You know, especially if you're plugged into a wall socket and electricity power is not an issue. However, if you're trying to save battery, you might want to look at the quiet mode or the balance mode, which will save battery on the laptop. So that's one way you can save battery. Another way is this mux switch selection. So basically the mux switch makes the laptop either use the NVIDIA GPU, which is the more powerful, stronger performing GPU, which obviously is going to suck more battery, or you can tell the computer to just use the AMD GPU, the 780M, which isn't as powerful as the NVIDIA thing, but it can kick out some frames and it's not going to suck as much battery. So you can put the laptop into a mode where it's perpetually going to save battery, or it's going to use the NVIDIA mode, give you maximum performance, but minimum battery kind of thing in it. So choice is yours kind of thing. At least you got the option there. Now, using this thing over the past couple of months, I'm not gonna lie, I've not had any issues doing the normal web browsing tasks, because obviously you got that big boy AMD processor in there, you've got that NVIDIA RTX 4050 in there. You're not gonna have any trouble doing light work web browsing. Let's be honest, fam, it's gonna breeze through that, no issues whatsoever. But where it will start to struggle is when you're gaming above 2K resolutions. So let's get into some gaming at the native resolution on this laptop. Alright, now people, then we're going to start off on hard mode with Kena Bridge of Spirits, one of the most visually demanding games that is on PC at the moment. Now we got it running in high graphical settings, 1080p by 1200p, and we're getting 130 frames per second minimum. Now bearing in mind that's because we're at 1080p, but yo, that's still no easy feat, fam. Now, next up, I can't remember what this game is called, but it always reminds me of 300. Such a graphically good game, and it just looks wicked. From it's a nice alternative to God of War. It plays really good on the Steam Deck, to be honest, so I'm not surprised that it plays well on this. But yeah, you get a nice little 60 frames per second, which I think is the maximum that it will let you do on this anyway. Now, of course, you have to try out some of the new Marvel rivals, and you'll be happy to know that on high settings, 1200p, we're looking at 150 frames per second minimum, yeah? Going up to 200 frames per second. This is only a 120 hertz panel, fam. You're not even going to see all those extra frames. But just know the thing is playing smoothly, and you're able to do this at a competitive level if you actually have that kind of skill. Horizon Forbidden West, high settings, 1200p, also got around 70 frames per second minimum kind of thing. So that's definitely good enough to play and play it at some good visual fidelity. Now, for the first time in my life, I decided to actually play Counter-Strike 2 against real people, so I'm playing it against bots. I basically died, but I died at a high frame rate, fam. Man was getting at least 110 frames per second minimum, going up to like 120, which is perfect for the competitive edge on a game like this. It's just unfortunate that my skill level was too dead to even make the higher frame rate worthy. Now, I can't lie, for me, this laptop ticked a lot of boxes, especially in the gaming department, because you got the AMD processor in there, you got the RTX 4050, which is a demon at playing any game at 2K resolution. So when you compile that with the 1200p resolution screen, it means that not only are you playing any game that you throw at it, but you're playing it at a high frame rate. So all you esports warriors, this is one of the laptops for you. What they should have done is put a high refresh rate screen in there, because the RTX 4050 can easily push some games above 165 frames per second. Like I said, apart from that, every other box for me personally is ticked. You got a decent processor, you got a decent GPU, you got a decent screen with high refresh rate, you've got a good port selection including 2 USB-C ports, a HDMI 2.1, and a micro SD card slot, which means not only is it good for you if you're a gamer, but it's also good for you if you're a gamer that likes to do a little bit of content creation and you want to drag your micro SD card directly out of your camera straight into the laptop without needing an additional USB dongle. But guys, let me know what you think about that ACER Predator 14 gaming laptop. Has it got everything that you guys need, or are there any missing features that you guys would want to add in? Let me know in the comment section below, and hopefully you'll like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.